Here is a mini album, guys. And how in the world does this mini album open, you say? Look at that. It is a mini album in there. It's a cascading one, but how does it open? We're going to show you in this tutorial exactly how it opens. Plus, we're going to give you a free PDF if you are a subscriber. All of the measurements and PDFs will be available to our subscribers. So all you need to do is click that little red subscribe button, and it'll be linked right here in the bottom corner. And subscribe, and then you can get the free PDFs. We'll have a free PDF every Monday on our tutorials. Hey guys, and Happy New Year. I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas, Merry Christmas, and a very Happy New Year. I hope everybody is off to a great start. So you're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 10 1/4 by 5 1/2. And on the 10 1/4 inch side, you're going to score at 3 1/8. At 6 1/4, at 9 3/8, right there. Okay, so that's 3 1/8, 6 1/4, and 9 3/8. Now all of these measurements will be over on my blog and a link to the free PDF. If you are a subscriber, you can get that link for free. So make sure that you subscribe, and then you can go over and click on that link and get the free PDF. Now, while we have our scoring board up here, we're going to go ahead and score another piece. This piece is cut at 5 1/2 by 3 7/8. And on the 3 7/8 inch side, you're going to score at, let me find my measurements. You're going to score at 3 1/8 and at 3 3/8. So 3 1/8 and 3 3/8 on the 3 7/8 inch side. All right, let's lay this down. Go ahead and fold and burnish your score lines. Okay, so we have a piece that looks like this. A little tab up here at the top. Let's see if you can see that. There we go. And then a piece that looks like this. And it has just a little, there you go, you can see that. All right, so we're going to lay this piece aside. That's going to be our front piece. We're going to lay it aside for a moment. Now, we need this longer, but since your paper is only 12 inches, we couldn't get another sheet like these out of this. So what we did is went ahead and cut one that we're going to glue right here on the end. So this piece is cut at 5 1/2 by 3 1/8, I believe. Let me look. 5 1/2 by 3 1/8. And that is going to glue right here on this tab. So you have this tab right here. That's going to glue right down on there, right up at that score line. So let me grab my art glitter glue. So we're just going to put some glue right here on this tab. I know the black is harder for you to see on camera, but it looks so pretty with this paper that we're going to be using. So I'm going to try to hold it in the directions where you can see it well after I get things glued down. So I'm just pressing that in. So see, there's what you have right there. There's your little mini album right there. So we just glued another one on there. Now you have that little thing that looks like an M. So we've got all that glued on. And we're going to go ahead and put our mats on here. Now your mats are going to be 5 1/4 by 2 7/8. And I've just cut some different mats. And this is the paper that I'm using. Be My Valentine by Echo Park. This is what's going to be in your e-club kits for January. So these will be in there. This is a beautiful paper. If you don't do a lot of things for Valentine, you don't have to use it for that because it has other sides that you can use for different things. But I just think it's so pretty. Let's see how I'm going to lay these down. I like that and that. And then I think that's pretty. That's pretty. So that's how we're going to glue those right there. Now I moved my camera out just a little bit so that you could see all of this little mini album, but I'll try to hold things up just so that you won't miss anything. Okay, all of our mats are on. Now cutting the mats like this, you can get 2 mats out of every 6x6 sheet of paper. So all of the mats are on. So then you're going to need 2 more pieces of cardstock that are cut at 5 1/8 by 3 1/8. And on the 5 1/8 inch side, you're going to score at 1 1/2. So score at 1 1/2, and then at 4 1/4, and at 4 1/2. So that's 1 1/2, 4 1/4, and 4 1/2. And you're going to do that on both pieces. 1 1/2, 4 1/4, and 4 1/2. Then you're going to go ahead and fold and burnish these. So what these are going to do is, you see we've got these like this. There's our pieces on the middle, and then we've got these little pieces on the side. You see that right there. There we go. So what these are going to do is they're going to wrap around your book, the ends right here. They're going to wrap around the book, and see that little cap right there gives you that flat edge on the end. So they're going to wrap around just like that. This one is going to wrap on this end, just like that. And then these 2 pieces meet in the center. See, let's see if I can hold it up like that and you can see it. There we go. So I'm just going to dry fit mine just a minute and make sure that they're the right size, and it looks like they are. They should be perfectly fitting, but if they're not, go ahead and dry fit them, and if they're not, just trim them a little bit. But before we glue those down, this is my little template. I'm going to take my little template and I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to lay it down with the folded side of the heart. This little folded side right here, it's going to go right up against that score line, just like that. And then you're just going to kind of center it from top to bottom. Just center it the best that you can. I look from the top of the heart up, and then from this little point down. So that right there looks about right. Don't go over the score line, just right up against it. And then we're just going to take, I have no idea what happened to my pencil. Then we're just going to take a pencil, and we're going to draw right around that edge, just like that. So there's our pencil line. There we go. And we're going to cut that out. Now just cut right up to that score line, and then just cut straight down the score line so that you have the heart like that. See how we did that? Okay, let me trim that up a little bit. Now on the PDF, this will already be cut out for you, and I'll also have this template in there as well. So you can use either one. You don't have to use this one. You can use the other one and just cut it out yourself if you want to. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this one up right against that one, making sure that my score lines meet up just like that, making sure that they're even. I'm going to lay my little heart over. Like I said, I know that's hard for you to see, but there's my heart. I'm just going to lay it over, and then I'm going to, again, trace that out. That's going to make sure that both of my hearts are in the same place. If I just laid this down on here, I'd have to guess at where I wanted to put it. So this is going to make sure that both of the hearts are in the same place. Make sure that I get it that way and that way. Okay. And then we're going to trim this one out as well. There we go. Okay, so that should match up. Let's see if it does. Lay those together. Yes, our hearts match up. So our hearts match up perfectly. So there is both of them. Okay, now this is one of the most important things about this little mini album. The way you want this accordion to go when you put these side pieces on is you want it to go just like this. So let's just hold that piece down. I'm going to fold it like that. You see how I folded it? Up and then down and up. So we want this piece to go up. The folded piece needs to come down here. That's how they're going to glue on there to the back right here. So all you're going to do is lay these on there with your heart. This is the top of my heart up. So lay it on there like that. Make sure that you get it as even as you possibly can. And then you're just going to open this up and put glue right here on this part and glue it down to this back. Don't put glue up here to the second fold line. Just put glue to this first fold line right there. And then fold it over. Make sure that you leave your little flat edge flat and meet it up to each end, and then just press it down. It's a Teflon bone folder. I press it down with that. Doesn't make marks on your pages. Then you're going to go to the other side and you're going to do the same thing. Make sure that your hearts are both going the same way. So both of the top of my hearts are up here. Make sure that they're even before you do any gluing. So I always just dry fit it. I look at my hearts, make sure that they're even. That looks pretty even right there. I hold it really tight, flip it over, and then put my glue on here. And then fold that over and press that down. Okay. So then you have this part that opens up like this, and then this is going to cascade down that way. All right, now we need to put on the other piece that we cut, this piece right here. This piece is going to go, the little lip, this little lip right here is going to go to the back. So all you're going to do is do just like you did those side pieces. I'm going to hold it over, making sure that I glue it at the top. This is the top of my mini album, the top of where your little hearts are. So hold it up there at the top like that. I'm going to hold it, open it up, and let you see. There are my hearts right there. These are the top. This is where I'm gluing this, is at the top. I'm just folding them over until I can get this glued. I'm just going to make sure that it's even from one end to the other. Then I'm going to flip it over, hold it really tight, flip it over, and then put my glue right here on this outer edge, just like I did before. And yes, my art glitter glue is leaking a little bit because it is so low It's almost gone. So it's leaking just a little bit, and that's just because I'm leaving it on its side. But I'm about ready to change to a brand new bottle. All right, that's what you have on the back that looks like that. Then this will open up this way. These will open up this way, and then this will cascade down. All right, so we need to put some more mats on here. So you still say, well, how is that heart going to interlock? I'm going to show you how that's going to interlock. But we're going to put a mat on here and on here first. So for your mats on the inside right here, they need to be 2.5 by 2 3/4. 2.5 by 2 3/4. We're going to glue those down. Okay, then we're going to put the mat on the outside here, and this mat is cut at 2 7/8 by 5 1/4. And these mats for the top are cut at 2.5 by 2 3/4. And I just cut mine to where I cut it where the paper would look like it matched up. So we're going to put those down. Now we need to cut the opening in here for our hearts, because this is the way this is going to go together. This is going to come down over the hearts, and they're going to interlock on the front side of this. So what we're going to do is do a little bit of measuring. We're going to measure from the edge . We're going to measure from the edge of the paper in at 2 3/4 and make a mark. And let's see if that's going to be right. Yep, that's going to be the center. And then we're going to come down from the top about 1/2 inch and make a little mark. And a little less than 1/2 at the bottom. So I'm just going to draw a straight line down through there where I want to cut. And I'll just kind of look at it with my hearts closed up and see if I need to go down a little bit further. And I do, because my hearts are a little bit lower. This is going to depend on where you put your hearts, where you cut your hearts on the front of here. So just close it up, kind of look at your opening and see if you need to go down a little bit or up a little bit. That's just something that you can look at and adjust as you need to. And let me get my cutter here. And then I'm just going to cut, I'm just using an X-Acto knife, and I'm going to cut right down the center of that line there. And then I'm going to go over just a tiny bit, and I'm going to cut another line. And all that is just about 1/8 of an inch that I'm cutting another line there. So let's see if I can show you that. See, I'm cutting about that much right there out. Maybe you can see that. So cut that down at the bottom and cut across the top. Then I'm just going to clean that up a little bit at the bottom down there. Now this is something that I won't be able to put in the PDF, because like I said, this is going to depend how you cut your hearts. So you can just cut it with your X-Acto knife. You can put it back in your trimmer, cut it like that. This opening is not hard to cut and adjust at all. As you can see, that slides right down on there, just like that. And then my hearts open up. And then here's where you need to take your bone folder and do some pressing. Just like that. So there's my hearts through there. So I'm going to open that back up and show you. See, I just got my little slit cut there. You can see it there. All the way down. And then my hearts are on the front there. Now I'm just going to put a couple of mats right here. I'm just going to use some scraps. These are cut at 2.5 by 2 3/4 as well. So I'm just going to put those down right there. These are just some scraps that I had that I'm going to use. I don't put the mat all the way across before I cut my opening. The reason being because it's a little bit harder to cut through 3 thicknesses of paper than it is to cut 2. So I just do this like this. There we go. And then we're going to close this back up. Open those up. And the more you open and close this and press your little hearts down, the more the hearts are going to lay down a little bit. But that doesn't bother me at all for them sticking up a little bit. I don't mind that at all. Now this is the piece that I cut for my little cover for my hearts, my little mat. You can mat this in anything that you want. I just cut a piece of the paper. But then I'm going to slit this right down the center. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut it right down the middle, just like that. This will be in your PDF. And then I'm going to lay one there and one right there. And I like to lay them up against each other so that it looks like that there's no way for that little book to open. That kind of confused the recipient. If you give this to somebody, they're like, I wonder how this book opens. So lay it right up against that opening there between those hearts. Lay that one like that. And then lay the other one right up against it. And it makes it look like it's just one continuous heart and that there's not a center point there. I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Let me get mine down right. Okay. So see, it looks like just one continuous heart. And the person that gets this, they're going to think, well, how in the world is this thing open? But when they pull up on it, it's going to open like that. These are going to open out, and then this is going to open down. There is your mini album. All compact, lots of room to put different things, but it holds together just with this little heart. Now, if you wanted to, if you don't want that heart sticking up a little bit, which mine doesn't stick up much, as you can see. And like I said, the more you open and close it, the more it's going to lay down. But you could put little magnets under there if you wanted. I'm not going to do that because I think mine is fine. It doesn't stick up that much. And the more you open and close this, the more it's going to lay down. So that is your little book. Now, you can go ahead and embellish the outside of this any way that you want to. You can't embellish the heart here, but you can do some embellishing over here on this. I'm just going to put a couple of little pieces of bling is all I'm going to put on mine. And let's see, I kind of like this pink bling. Just going to put a little piece there. That might look a little too big. Let's take that one back off. Let's just use one of these small ones and put it right there. And then we'll put another one down here. So I like that. And I think that's all that I'm going to do to mine right there. That is your little Heart Lock mini album. And if you want this free PDF, like I said, all you need to do is hit that subscribe button. And then you can go over to my blog and there'll be a link showing over there for subscribers where you can download this PDF for free. Now the PDF will include the heart, these little pieces where the heart's cut out of. It won't include any straight cuts because I figure straight cuts you can measure those and cut them yourself. But it will have the measurements on a PDF so that you can just print those out. But that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to click that little bell if you want to be notified when we put up new videos. And we will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching.